Well, hello there, this is Chadderbox, and welcome to another Rocketeer devlog. I've done quite a lot of stuff. I'm so excited working on this project. I've just not stopped. It's so fun. I don't really know what to title this video at the moment because I've done so much stuff. So I suppose let's just skedoot in. So the first thing I've done is I've written a screen space gradient shader for my UI. So like it all like, you know, the gradient goes across. So if I go, yep, so like here, and it may be in here. It's not as evident here, but it does sort of change as it goes across. Another thing I've done is I have written a level select screen, which is also using that manager. These aren't the actual amount of levels. This is actually procedurally generated from a little scriptable object that I have made, and you can see this here. And essentially it's just all my testing scene at the moment, but it will eventually sort of, you know, have actual levels in. And so for every like level I put in, it'll add an additional slot, and if I make too many, it'll make a new page. And obviously I can't go to a new page at the moment because I don't have any, but I suppose let's just get going. Yeah, so this is the new sort of little testing area I've been working on. I've done a tiny bit more tweaking to this shader here. You might notice that it actually shakes in the wind now, which took me ages. I didn't know how to do this. I had absolutely no knowledge of like shaders and stuff. And I'm so happy that I managed to figure out how to do this and combine it with the old shader. So that's done. Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing. You might notice there's actually, you know, a rocket launcher attached to you now. And it, like, when you move the mouse, it'll move with it, along with some sort of just ambient shake as well. And the number at the top of the screen is actually how many rockets you have. And so when you shoot, it will decrease your amount of rockets. Yeah, and so you see this wall here. I have also been working on like a little system that instead of just spawning an explosion facing upright, it'll actually explode in the direction that you hit the wall or whatever, which I think is pretty epic. And that's been as a part of my like sort of trying to switch from sort of rigid body like shots to sort of it's like rigid body and raycast now. It uses a rigid body to apply momentum and gravity and stuff like that, but the actual collision detection is done with a raycast, and it essentially goes between the rigid body's position and the rigid body's last position, and if there is anything in between, then there must be something, you know, to collide into, and that it gives me information for how to like make it blow up in this way. The player's been kind of nerfed. They're not, the rockets aren't as quick anymore because one of my friends told me to make it a bit slower. And the player's really been nerfed in the aspect that they have limited ammo now. So as you might see, we've not got the end to our rocket, and that's because we've got 0 rockets. Now these arrows here, wonder what these do. Ah. They give us more rockets. Yeah, so essentially this sort of, I don't know, it gives the game more of a purpose now. You can run out of like rockets and stuff like that. So you obviously want to be a bit more careful, use them wisely. It's not just going to be spamming them. So it introduces a lot more skill to the game, and I'm quite chuffed with them. I was having a bug for ages where the collision detection was picking up multiple things when I collide into them, and I didn't want to write a script for the like pickups because the game's already pretty CPU bound, but I had to, and I'm just sort of trying to minimize like things, because for some reason the game just like, I don't know, I think it's Unity's editor that's like really screwing me over, because when I build it I'm getting like 300-400 FPS, but like in the game it's like 60 or whatever. It's really annoying. Another thing, this dynamic crosshair I've got, it'll like sort of expand based on your speed. It doesn't actually change your accuracy. It just sort of changes based on the speed. And so that's about it in terms of changes to gameplay. Quite a lot, I know. Oh wait, no, there's another. We've got a settings menu now, so if I press escape, the entire game will pause, and we can look at the graphic settings and stuff. Now this was in the main menu too, but it's not functioning, and now it is, so I can change like the volume of things, and I can also change the graphic settings. So at the moment volume doesn't work, but if I change the graphic settings to say low, you can see that shadows have all disappeared. The lighting on my gun is awful. Some of the shaders look slightly worse, like on here. They still move, but they don't sort of use the same algorithm to move anymore. Yeah, shadows, skybox detail goes down, and I'm just, yeah. And so you'll notice as soon as I turn it back to medium, stuff sort of starts to turn back to normal, but the shadow like distance is really low. Yeah, and then we go to high, and high is actually Unity's ultra settings, because I just wanted to keep it simple. And so medium lows are very low, and high is ultra. And so that just means I only have 3 graphic settings, but it's not like the user's going to really need many more than that. So let's go into the editor, and I'll show you another thing I've been working on. So then we're in the editor view. As you can see, we're looking down the level we were just in, and these are sort of my new things that I've been working on for the last sort of few hours, and I'm just sort of templating like you know, prefabs at this point, because I really want to start making some just basic levels to get a feel of the gameplay. And so I'm doing a technique that's pretty common in level design, and that's just making a load of tiles so that you can sort of lay out a few basic details later. And I think that's going to really sort of help me make levels, because I don't want to just be having to handcraft every single one of these. Obviously I don't want like so little of these that the player doesn't notice, but I think if I make enough, the player won't really know that they're all sort of the same, especially if I spread them out across a few levels, then they won't know. So then, quite a fast sort of, lots of stuff, action-packed devlog today, but like that's how I intend it to be. I just want to show you as much stuff as quick as possible, because I'm getting a lot of stuff done. So hopefully I'll be back with some more interesting stuff next time.